look at the hair. Look at the eye bags. Look at the... She's chopped. Do better. Come on, baby. And today we got the disturbing effect of child neglect. This video seemed interesting to me because the art style in the thumbnail was so eerie, bro. Like, look at this thumbnail, bro. This looks like it's claymation. Bro, wait. I don't know about y'all. Claymation used to scare the mess out of me as a kid, bro. That used to scare the mess out of me, bro. The mess out of me, bro. Bro, Wallace and Gromit, the Chicken Run movie, like all that. Bro, I don't like claymation. So, you know, I figured I'd watch it, probably be disturbed. You already know the vibes. 1 curse, 3 push-ups. Let's just get this going.
Trauma. It's a word that's thrown
Like, this art style is crazy, bro.
around a ton on the internet nowadays, but it can manifest itself in all types of different forms. Maybe you've endured a bad relationship that's led you to developing some trust issues, or perhaps you've had your fair share of bullies growing up. Well, what about being neglected as a child to the point that your parents can't see you for who you are? I was a bit specific on that last one, but that's because it perfectly describes a short film known simply as Opal. It debuted on Halloween Day of 2020 on the all too famous Adult Swim. It was created by this man, Jack Stauber. If you've somehow never heard of Jack Stauber, he's famous for his signature sound profile. This
is so... Bro, I promise you, if I would have watched this as a kid, bro, I'm getting nightmares. I might get nightmares as a grown adult looking at this.
Original, weird and loud sound that seems to resonate with a ton of people. At the very least, you had to have heard at least one of these songs. But we're not here to talk about his other accomplishments. We're here to talk about this.
Glorious King Michael.
Opal, a 12-minute short that, despite its small length, manages to pack an entire story and history of childhood trauma that has been pent up in this tortured...
See, this is what I'm saying. This is claymation with a semi-serious, like, plot to it. That is terrifying, bro. That's scary to me.
Poor child. In the short, you get to see this character struggle to cope with a dysfunctional family made up of a complete narcissist, a dying smoker, and an alcoholic mother. The short begins with a quite nice piano melody that introduces us to the 3 main major events that this character will encounter throughout the entire short. These cigarettes from the old grandfather, the mirrors of the narcissistic man, and the pills and alcohol from an older woman. After showing us these 3 scenes, we fly through a window as we cut to a house on the other side of the street. Inside, we are greeted with a family singing a song to their daughter, who seems to be named Opal. The song is entirely about seeing their daughter, with each character saying one line about how they can see Opal.
There she is.
That's my girl. Hi, Opal!
Opal is then given a burger and randomly decides to just dance with it, presumably because she doesn't know what to do with it. Now let's...
Like, it makes me so uncomfortable.
Let's take a note of this right now because this will be important later. Opal's attention is then directed across the street as we see a darker, creepier looking house, which her parents then interrupt with a quick lyric about not worrying about the house across the street.
Don't mind the house across the street.
Bro, it's the frame rate. It's the frame rate. It's the frame rate, bro.
It's not where your attention ought to be.
Opal is sent to bed early but decides to sneak out and see what's up with the house across the street. Opal's attention is brought to the upstairs of the home with a beautiful piece of music playing that can only be described as unsettling yet heavenly.
What?
As she makes her way to the front door, she is scared by a bunch of lights shining on her, which forces her...
Bro. Yo, okay, I'm locked. This is terrifying. Like, imagine watching this at night. This right here. And it's dark out. No, bro.
her to rush inside. This catches the attention of this blind man, asking her to bring her his cigarettes, noting the following.
Claire, is that you? Come here, I need you to bring me my cigarettes. Don't think about hiding them again either. I know it's you who's doing that.
Then we break into an absolute banger of a musical number where the man begins to sing a song about how it must be easy to breathe on TV. And you know what? Why even explain it when we can just sit here and vibe?
Talk to me.
Tell me, why does it sound so easy to breathe?
Why does it sound so easy to be? He's kind of hitting that. He sound like bro from Kronk. He kind of has like a Kronk voice to him.
On TV,
On TV. Nah, wait, he's kind of hitting that.
I can't see why it sounds so easy to breathe.
Breathe. No, bro, that got soul to it. You know when people sing? I just spit everywhere. That's nasty. They be like, breathe. When they like, I can't. Like when they hit their chest to hit a note, he definitely hit that, bro.
I'm popular here.
We get more insight into the man as throughout the song we see his struggle with health as he uses television to cope with his current health condition, using cigarettes and TV as an escape from this drastic condition that he finds himself in. As the song comes to an end, the grandpa notes that this is not her granddaughter Claire, and this leads to Opal rushing out of the room as the grandpa is yelling at her to get out, leading to our next encounter. As she makes her way to the hallway, we see her attention brought to this doorway, which is met with the same beautiful music from earlier when we saw the window from outside.
Bro, I love when things have like symbolism. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that first scene has to have something. Like, that first scene has to represent something that, like, I'm not getting right now. Like, hold up, this has to represent something that I don't get right now. And I can always appreciate when the plot of things have, like, underlying. You know what I'm saying? I think that's tough. I think that's so fire. And I really, because you can rewatch it multiple times and, like, really pay attention to it.
Just then, she is interrupted by this
Side profile of doom she needs to mute. Jesus, like, oh my God.
Just then, she is
Actually, she might have me. Wait, she got me. No, she got me. Wait, she got me.
interrupted by this man in a room full of mirrors, who begins talking entirely about himself. This entire scene, the man basically has a conversation with himself, never allowing the kid to even get a single word in.
Neck leaning like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Look, the reason I have to react like this, don't do that. Don't do that. If I stand, I'm this far away. If the desk could go higher, I could get closer. But I have to lean. Oh, shut up.
Moving so fast from point to point, comparing himself to the kid, even insulting her ankles and saying that he's glad he doesn't have them.
Themselves. I actually look really good in
Yo, you're chopped. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know where you got that from, but you look like Thomas the Choo Choo Train, bro. The mirror, the shape of that mirror is not helping you, gang.
that.
You look like a Little Nightmares character.
Glad I don't have your ankles though. Nothing against them. I just
And them pretty ass hands. How does that go to your face? Stop talking to me.
never mind. Sorry, my brain. I often find myself.
It's kind of unsettling how the music jumps
Button down shirt. You, bro, come on. Buttoning down your shirt and not having any type of jewelry is just crazy. I see nothing but bird chests. You don't even have like pecs. You unbutton your shirt to show this. You have the build of a singular piece of paper, gang.
jumps from scary suspense to airy and cheerful within seconds of each other, which I will come to
He is too chopped to be a narcissist, bro.
talk about later. Just as this convo is coming to an end, he cuts to a musical number about his personal insecurities and overt narcissism.
You wanna know I get so worked up? I'll just tell you.
Out there. Wait, they kind of got these. Is this the same guy? Like, I'm assuming he's singing all the songs.
With tons of references to how beautiful and godly his skin is, noting that life is just a costume away. Clearly putting emphasis on the fact that this man has had some deep event in his life that has led him down this path of constantly being on edge about his physical appearance, to the point that he now sits in a reflection chamber, a metaphor on how caught up in his own life the father is. As this musical number comes to an end, the grandfather comes up, scaring Opal, which forces her to run into the next door, shutting it closed. A hand then suddenly grabs her legs, which
No! I don't think I could watch the actual video. He literally said, a hand then grabs her, and I got scared.
appears to be from this woman who is clearly a drunk. The older woman begins stating how terrible she feels, telling Opal that women like her and Opal just survive.
I feel terrible for all the things. I feel terrible. You and I don't live, Claire. We survive.
The woman begins singing a song
What did you survive? A nuclear bomb? Your face is rotting. What a baddie. Okay.
about how she needs her little girl to take care of her.
Mama needs a little girl to land on. Mama needs
This is the worst song so far.
a little girl to fall in her arms.
This scene then goes out of whack, and Opal manages to get away from the situation, running upstairs to the safe haven that we've seen alluded to in the entire short. She finally gets upstairs to this room and locks the door by pushing a chair up against it. It's during this scene that
I feel bad for this little girl now, bro. Look at, like, this is adorable. It's scary and unsettling. But, like, it's the eyes. The eyes are doing it.
the viewer is then hit with the realization that Opal isn't actually the name of this character. Her name is actually Claire. Claire being the name that everyone in the household has been calling her by.
Bro, in the beginning was like Claire.
The name Opal comes from this billboard named Opal's Burgers, and on it we see the main family from earlier in the beginning of the short. A manic realization begins to set into Opal
Wait!
after she has to come to terms with the fact that she has a real family that is
The house is her house? Whose crib was she at in the first place then?
completely unlike the fake family from earlier. Amidst all of this pain and suffering, she manages to tuck her head into her lap and force her mind to escape the reality that she's in, with her fake family singing to her, presumably calming her down. We then zoom out of her fantasy,
That's why they tried to close the window and told her not to go to the crib.
seeing that it's all in her head, as the family in the real house needlessly bangs on her door,
Oh my God.
wanting attention from her. Zooming out so much, revealing that there was never a house across the street.
See, that's what I'm saying. All of this, and it's claymation, bro. That it was escapism from her, the disturbing effect of child neglect. That's what this is.
Further confirming it's all in her head. The amazing thing about this short is the small amount
I think that might be the purpose of claymation. Like, it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable, so it like really hits on like the seriousness of the topic, bro.
of details that add to the overall theme. Claire is the byproduct of a truly neglectful family. One of the biggest symbolisms in Opal is the fact that none of her family sees her. The grandfather is quite literally blind, so he's unable to see her.
The dad is preoccupied with his face or something
The
like
mirror
that.
man, which is her father, is so caught up in his own life that any small sliver of a chance at seeing his daughter is met
Is blocked by a mirror.
with him readjusting his mirrors, which I took literally and figuratively, with the adjusting of the mirrors possibly referencing to how adults will reinforce their priorities and leave the kids at the bottom of that list. And then we see her mom, a deprived alcoholic druggie that doesn't want a daughter for normal motherly reasons. She wants a daughter that she can
She needs someone to hold her. She's put in a position where she has to raise her mom too, because her mom isn't a competent adult. Oh my God.
use as a therapist, someone to go to with her struggles, completely flipping the parent-kid dynamic on its head.
Yeah.
Usually we see the parent taking care of the child, but in all cases of Claire,
Anyone who's had to have been in that situation, I'm sorry that life failed you, bro. Because that's almost cursed. That situation sucks. It really does. And it doesn't allow you to, I would say, like, obviously, my mom did the best that she could do, and I would never complain about my childhood. But I have been put in situations where I have to be the bigger person than my own mother. And it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun. It kind of robs you from the ability to be a kid. And it's anyone out there who has to experience that, I'm sorry. It's not fun.
interacting with her family, it's Claire taking care of them. She talks her mom through her obvious depressions and relapses, She gives unnecessary attention to her dad, who just talks to himself the whole time and is constantly used by the grandpa just to get his cigarettes. While we're on the topic of the grandpa, watching the short film for the first time, this small line might slip past you.
Claire, is that you?
But watching it a second time, you'll realize that the grandpa genuinely doesn't recognize his own granddaughter, which is far more disturbing than the initial
because he don't even know. It could be any other kid.
reaction you might see at first glance. And all of this has a drastically disturbing effect on Claire herself. She's so neglected by her parents physically that she is also clearly malnourished, as when you compare her looks to the kid on the billboard, it's almost obvious
Don't tell me they made her face distorted like that on purpose, bro.
how not well fed she is. And what's more disheartening is the fact that
Oh my God, bro. Look at this.
most obvious how not well fed she is. And what's more disheartening is the fact,
Bro, look at the hair. Look at the eye bags. Look at the... She's chopped. Do better. Come on, bro. Come on. That makes... Because I thought her look was supposed to be, like, just aesthetic. But no, this is very intentional. Like, her face has no shape. She's so starved that, like, her face has no shape at all, bro.
that it makes sense when you spill out
Oh my God.
the facts. Her mother is unfit to take care of her due to being an addict. The grandfather can barely take care of himself, so how is he supposed to take care of Claire? And the father only really cares about himself, so who is left to take care of her? No one. Even smaller details such as the way that she walks inside. The way that she walks inside the first time around, you might think that everyone in the house is asleep because she's basically tiptoeing her way throughout her household. Now, I relate to this on a super close level because I grew up with parents that I just didn't
Oh, wow. She stepped on something, made some noise, and flinched.
want to interact with because of how I was treated. You learn to step quiet to avoid the riot and chaos
Oh, yeah, 100%. That trip to the kitchen to get some food, you be moving tack, bro. Wooden stairs, you be tiptoeing on that.
of having to deal with your parent or any adult that you're living with. In this case, Claire makes her way carefully throughout the house because she very much doesn't want to interact with her family. She just wants to make her way to her safe haven, which is her lonely room at the top of the house. This is why we keep seeing those sequences where this music plays. It's because
What does this mean, though?
it's Claire's only real way to be safe in her own home.
Oh, it's like the room calling out to her.
She has to make this long, venturous journey each time she wants to go inside her house. And it shows. The amount of horror and shock on her face when any adults in the short chooses
This is such a crazy angle, bro.
to talk to her shows us the amount of anxiety and social issues that she must have developed. And if you don't believe this, just take a look at what Claire's favorite pastime is. The beginning of the short begins with Claire with her fake family, but she's not in her room daydreaming. Based on the ending, we know for a fact that she's outside looking up at the billboard. And this little detail of the lights turning on is implying that it's
Does she not eat all day? That's why?
nighttime and the billboard lights have finally come on. All of this
The billboard lights. And that's why she was so scared when it turned on.
means that Claire's favorite pastime is to walk outside of her house, sit down, look up, and fantasize about leaving her troubles that could be miles away. This is why Claire is in such a panic when the lights come on, because she doesn't want to have to deal with the reality of her living situation. Even when she's in her room towards the end of the film, she covers up the lights from the billboard in her mind with these burgers, using them to hide the fact that she's daydreaming
That the lights, oh my God.
about a simple burger joint, seeing the kid in the picture with their fake family, wishing that she was them instead. And that's where there's even more disturbing details. I noted at the beginning of this video that this sequence where she dances with the burger is extremely important, and it is.
I feel bad for making fun of your dancing. You hitting that. This fire.
That entire
That's tough. That's tough.
2 minutes at the beginning tells us more than enough about Claire's current psyche. Let's take another listen to what each family member tells Claire in the beginning.
There she is.
That's my girl.
Oh man.
Hi, Opal.
Notice how none of them imply that they're trying to take care of her, with the grandpa
They're literally just acknowledging her existence, bro.
not even saying anything besides hi. This is because Claire is so far gone in her relationship with her family that she just wants to be seen as a person.
He says she's 30.
This is why when she's given the burger, she has no understanding of what to do with it. She is not aware that she's supposed to eat the burger, and she
Cause she doesn't even care about
doesn't
that.
know how to be grateful for food because she's never been given the opportunity to. So she dances with it because in her mind, that's what makes sense. And what ties this entire message together is the beautiful music.
Oh my, look at her smile, bro.
In her mind, that's what makes sense. And what ties this entire message together.
This is so sad because like this smile is supposed to be the smile that's on the billboard, but like they still show that she's so malnourished because like full circle head, full circle head, full circle head. Even though she's happy, her head like still, it doesn't even have a full circle, bro.
Is the beautiful musical number.
We see you, Opal, your troubles are miles away. We see you, Opal.
Stating how
This made me want to hug Opal, bro. What the heck?
her imaginary family sees her, confirming the mental state that Claire is currently in. Now I gotta
Oh, Claire, my
admit
fault.
before I even move on, the only reason I really chose to make an analysis on this short is because it really spoke to me. This entire analysis that you're watching is coming from someone who endured a lot of emotional neglect growing up, and it still
Most
affects me
definitely.
today. And to be even more meta with it, it might even attribute to why I'm a YouTuber, constantly posting stuff online and posting my opinions everywhere, trying to get validation for what I believe in, because I never got that growing up. And that's honestly what I found really disturbing about this entire short, is just
Yeah, this is dark.
how
And like, I love when things can get dark and not be like, let me think. When things are psychological dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, killer comes into the house, kills the whole family. If that's the plot of the movie, of course that's dark. But this, there's no killer with a knife. There's no ghost. There's no demon. It's just like what makes it really scary is how realistic it is, bro. This is literally just a short about child neglect, which is something that happens often. It's something that doesn't have like knives and demons and superpowers, but they're still able to make it just as dark off the strength of the medium. And I think that's really great writing, bro. Reality is as scary as not going, bro. Real stuff though. Like when things can be dark and realistic at the same time, bro. I could not watch this at night, bro.
incredibly relatable it can be. If you're someone that lives in a household similar to this, or has a parent that's similar to
It's just as dark, if not more dark. I feel like it's even more dark because this is someone's life right now, currently. This is more people are living this than there are people who are living paranormal situations or life or death situations with like knives and like monsters and scary men and stuff like that. There's mad kids going through this. Shoot, someone watching this is probably going through this. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
one of Claire's adult family members, then you'll be able to relate to a lot of what this short offers. Even tiny things like the mom not admitting faults. Earlier she says this line.
This gets so bad. I feel terrible for all the things. I feel terrible.
She couldn't even say all the things I did. That's so real! God! They don't be taking accountability for nothing! God! Just say sorry, bro! Dang! Dang! Parents will dead acknowledge that they're hoeing you and still not apologize for it. What? I did the best I could as a mother. Still say sorry. That's like me punching you in the face and being like, yo, I'm so sorry. I did my best as a streamer. Gang, apologize for hitting me in the face. What?
Notice that she stutters. She's about to admit fault, saying that she feels terrible for what she's
She can't do
done,
it.
but she stops herself. Because people that are like this, people that cause their own problems and cause their own emotional turmoil,
It's easy to escape.
never accept responsibility. Instead, they choose to blame other people for their problems. And what's even scarier is that it can come in all types of different shapes and forms. For example, you might have people like the dad, who genuinely on the surface, if you really listen to what he's saying. He's not a terrible person. He seems like a very innocent man that went through some kind of event in his life, whether it was his wife beating him, as it kind of alludes to that in the short. If you guys pause during this sequence, you actually see what his real face looks like. And you also get to see later in the video when the mom's musical number is going off, you kind of see her hit the dad with something. Clearly,
Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Oh my God.
clearly implying that there's more going on behind the scenes, but these households exist. People
They're real, bro.
walking into their house not knowing what's going to go down. Making this big journey, this 12-minute short, is some people's lives, sadly to say. Some kids will grow up in households where every adult in their life just uses them. And that's what the entire last sequence showcases. We see Claire is the pills of the mom. We see that Claire is literally the mirror that the dad looks in and
Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, maybe I didn't pay attention.
just uses them. And that's what the entire last sequence
Oh, I see. She's the coping mechanism for all of them.
showcases.
Oh, that's such a fire detail. That's such a fire detail.
We see Claire is the pills
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy
of the mom. We see that Claire is
She's
literally
the
the mirror
mirror.
that the dad looks in, and we see that Claire replaces the eyeballs of the grandpa.
Oh, that's so. I love stuff like this, though. That is such a crazy. That's what I'm telling y'all. That's such a crazy detail to put into something, bro. That's so intentional.
Every single adult in her house is using her for their own personal gain, leaving her with nothing left to give, feeling like she's not even her own person. And the only way for her to escape her reality is to literally walk across the street and stare at a photo of another family, wishing
Oh, man.
that she was them. And that is the disturbing effect of child neglect.
This is why realism is the most powerful art in ways that makes you feel something more than wonder and happiness or even stimulation. Like, this is way more crazy, high stakes, and dark than any Marvel movie. You know what I'm saying? That was a crazy watch, bro. That was a crazy watch, bro. Hey, man, I hope you guys liked the video. Didn't curse. That's gonna be it for me. Hope you guys liked it. I'll keep you. Hope you guys liked the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. That's gonna be it for me. Peace.